What if I told you that the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be isn't your background, your education, your connections, or even your current circumstances? What if the only thing standing between you and extraordinary success is something you have complete control over every single moment of every single day? That something is your mindset. Today, I'm going to share with you the exact mental framework that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. This isn't theory, this is a proven system that has worked for millions of people across every industry, every background, every situation you can imagine. By the end of our time together, you'll understand not just what successful people think, but how they think. You'll have the tools to rewire your mental operating system for success. And most importantly, you'll know exactly what to do starting today to begin your transformation. But first, let me tell you a story that changed everything for me. When I was 25, struggling and frustrated, I had the privilege of meeting someone who would become my mentor. This man had built multiple successful businesses, had financial freedom, and seemed to effortlessly attract opportunities wherever he went. I expected him to teach me business strategies, sales techniques, or financial principles. Instead, he said something that stopped me in my tracks. "Son, we become what we think about most of the time." I thought he was oversimplifying, but then he continued, "If you're constantly thinking about your problems, you become a problem-focused person. If you're always thinking about your goals, you become goal-oriented. If you focus on success, you start developing the characteristics of successful people. Your thoughts don't just reflect your reality, they create your reality." He then shared an analogy that revolutionized how I understood the human mind. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant grows. Plant tomatoes, get tomatoes. Plant weeds, get weeds. But here's what most people miss. If you plant nothing, you still get something. You get weeds, because weeds don't need cultivation. They grow naturally. But if you want tomatoes, if you want success, you must deliberately plant the right seeds. Water them daily, protect them from harsh conditions, and tend to them with consistency and care. That conversation changed the trajectory of my entire life, because I realized that I had been unconsciously planting weeds in the garden of my mind for years. No wonder I wasn't getting the results I wanted. Let me share something that might surprise you. Your mindset isn't fixed. It's not something you're born with and stuck with forever. Modern neuroscience has proven that your brain has what scientists call neuroplasticity, the ability to form new neural pathways throughout your entire life. This means your mindset is like a muscle. The more you exercise it in the right direction, the stronger it becomes. The more you feed it the right mental nutrition, the healthier it grows. Think about the most successful people you know or have studied. What do they all have in common? They think differently than average people. They have what I call a success operating system running in their minds. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. They see possibilities where others see problems. They see stepping stones where others see stumbling blocks. This isn't because they're lucky or because life is easier for them. It's because they've trained their minds to automatically look for and focus on what serves their goals and growth. Here's a profound truth that will change your life when you truly grasp it. Your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner world. If you want to change what's happening around you, you must first change what's happening within you. If you want different results in your life, you must first become a different person on the inside. And that transformation begins with transforming your mindset. Let's talk about the foundation of your mindset, your beliefs. Your beliefs are the assumptions you make about yourself, about others, about how the world works, and about what's possible. These beliefs act like invisible filters in your mind, determining what you notice and what you ignore, what you pursue and what you avoid, what you attempt and what you never even consider. Here's how powerful beliefs are. If you believe you're not smart enough, you won't pursue opportunities that require intelligence. If you believe you're not worthy of success, you'll unconsciously sabotage yourself every time you get close to achieving it. If you believe that wealthy people are greedy or that money corrupts, you'll subconsciously push financial abundance away from your life. But here's the flip side. If you believe you can learn anything you need to learn, you'll seek out knowledge and skills. If you believe you deserve success, you'll pursue it with confidence. If you believe that money is simply a tool that amplifies who you already are, you'll attract wealth naturally. The most liberating discovery you can make is this. You get to choose your beliefs. You're not stuck with the beliefs you grew up with or the beliefs that society has imposed on you. You can examine your beliefs, question them, and consciously choose new ones that serve your success. Let me give you a practical exercise right now. Think about an area of your life where you're not getting the results you want. Now ask yourself, what would I have to believe about myself, about this situation, or about what's possible to get the results I want instead? Whatever answer comes up, that's likely a belief you need to adopt. Most people live their entire lives never questioning their limiting beliefs. Don't be most people. Your beliefs are not facts, they're choices. And the beliefs you choose will shape everything else in your life. Now let's talk about the greatest enemy of a success mindset. It's not poverty. It's not lack of education. It's not even lack of opportunity. Greatest enemy of success is negative thinking. Negative thinking is like a virus that infects every area of your life. It makes you focus on what's wrong instead of what's right, on what you lack instead of what you have, on why you can't instead of how you can. And here's what makes it so dangerous. Negative thinking is contagious. Spend time around negative people, and you'll start thinking negatively. Consume negative news all day, and you'll develop a negative outlook. Surround yourself with negative influences, and you'll develop negative thought patterns that sabotage your success before you even get started. But here's the good news. Positive thinking is even more powerful than negative thinking. And it's also contagious. When you develop a truly positive mindset, and I'm not talking about fake positivity or pretending problems don't exist. When you develop genuine positive thinking, you become a magnet for positive people, positive opportunities, and positive results. True positive thinking is about maintaining unshakable faith in your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. It's about believing that every problem has a solution, that every setback contains a valuable lesson, and that every ending is also a new beginning. Let me share one of the most important principles I've ever learned. You are where you are and what you are because of what you've thought and done up to this point. Your current results are not accidents. They're not coincidence. They're the natural outcome of your past thinking and actions. This principle is both sobering and liberating. Sobering because it means you're 100% responsible for your current situation. But liberating because it means you have the power to change your future. If your thinking created your current reality, then changing your thinking can create a new reality. Let me tell you about one of the most overlooked success factors. The conversation you have with yourself. The average person has about 60,000 thoughts per day. Research shows that approximately 80% of those thoughts are negative. Think about that. Most people are literally programming themselves for failure without even realizing it. They're constantly telling themselves why they can't, why they shouldn't, why they're not good enough, why it won't work, why they don't deserve it. Your self-talk is the most important conversation you'll ever have because it's the only conversation that's always happening. You talk to yourself more than anyone else talks to you. You listen to yourself more than you listen to anyone else. And what you say to yourself shapes what you believe about yourself, which shapes how you feel about yourself, which shapes how you act, which ultimately shapes your results. If you want to master your mindset for success, you must master your self-talk. You must become conscious of what you're saying to yourself and deliberately choose words that empower rather than discourage. Here are some powerful self-talk transformations. Instead of "I can't do this," say "I'm learning how to do this." Instead of "I'm not good at this," say "I'm getting better at this every day." Instead of "This is too hard," say "This is challenging me to grow stronger." Instead of "I always mess up," say "I'm human and I learn from every experience." Instead of "I don't know how," say "I'll figure it out." I want you to understand something crucial. Your brain believes what you tell it most often. If you constantly tell it you're capable, it will look for evidence that you're capable. If you constantly tell it you're not good enough, it will look for evidence that you're not good enough. Your self-talk is literally programming your subconscious mind for success or failure. Make sure you're programming it for success. One of the most important psychological discoveries of our time is the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities, intelligence, and talents are fixed traits that can't be significantly developed. They think you either have it or you don't. This leads them to avoid challenges, Give up easily when faced with obstacles, ignore useful feedback, and feel threatened by other people's success. People with a growth mindset believe that abilities, intelligence, and talents can be developed through dedication, hard work, and learning from failures. They embrace challenges, persist through setbacks, learn from criticism, and find inspiration in other people's success. Here's the key difference. People with a fixed mindset say, "I can't do this." People with a growth mindset say, "I can't do this yet." That one word, yet, is one of the most powerful words in the English language. It transforms a permanent limitation into a temporary condition. It changes a dead end into a pathway. Let me give you a quick assessment. How do you respond to challenges? Do you avoid them or embrace them? How do you respond to failure? Do you see it as evidence that you're not capable, or as information that helps you improve? How do you respond to criticism? Do you take it personally and get defensive, or do you look for useful feedback that can help you grow? Your answers reveal your mindset. And here's what's beautiful. You can choose to develop a growth mindset regardless of how you've thought in the past. Successful people fail more often than unsuccessful people. That's not a typo. They fail more because they attempt more. They take more risks, try more things, and put themselves in more situations where failure is possible. But here's the key. They don't let failure define them or defeat them. They let failure educate them and elevate them. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone to success. Every failure teaches you something that brings you closer to success. Every no brings you closer to a yes. Every mistake shows you what doesn't work, bringing you closer to finding what does work. This brings us to one of the most crucial mindset skills: resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back from setbacks, recover from disappointments, and keep going when things get tough. It's not about avoiding problems or pretending they don't hurt. It's about developing the mental and emotional strength to handle whatever life throws at you. Resilience is built through practice. Every time you face a challenge and work through it, you build resilience. Every time you experience a setback and bounce back, you strengthen your resilience muscle. Every time you feel like quitting but keep going anyway, you develop greater resilience. One of the key components of resilience is perspective. How you interpret what happens to you determines how you respond to it. Two people can experience the exact same event and have completely different responses based on their interpretation. Here's the truth. You can't always choose what happens to you, but you can always choose what it means to you. You can choose to see obstacles as stop signs or as detours. You can choose to see setbacks as endings or as new beginnings. You can choose to see problems as punishments or as opportunities to develop your problem-solving skills. Your perspective is always your choice, and that choice determines your experience and your results. Let's talk about focus. Your mind is like a spotlight. Whatever you shine that spotlight on becomes magnified in your experience. Focus on your problems and your problems become bigger. Focus on your possibilities and your possibilities become bigger. Focus on what's wrong with your life and you'll find more things that are wrong. Focus on what's right with your life and you'll find more things that are right. Successful people have learned to focus on what they want rather than what they don't want, on where they're going rather than where they've been, on what they can control rather than what they can't control. But focus isn't just about what you think about, it's also about what you expose your mind to. If you want to develop a success mindset, you must be selective about what you read, watch, listen to, and who you spend time with. Your mind is constantly being programmed by the information it receives. Make sure you're programming it with success-oriented input. Remember, you become like the people you spend the most time with. Choose your associations carefully. Goals are like magnets for your mind. Let's discuss the power of goals in shaping your mindset. They pull your thoughts, attention, and actions in their direction. When you have clear, specific, written goals, your mind automatically starts looking for ways to achieve them. You notice opportunities you would have missed otherwise. You make connections you wouldn't have made. You take actions you wouldn't have taken. But goals do more than direct your actions. They shape your identity. When you have goals, you see yourself as someone who is going somewhere, someone with direction and purpose. Here's how to set goals that actually work. Make them specific and measurable. Instead of "I want to be successful," Specify exactly what success means to you. Instead of "I want to make more money," determine exactly how much money you want to make and by when. Write them down. There's something powerful about putting goals in writing. It makes them real, official, and harder to ignore. Review them regularly. Why? Our goals should be living documents you revisit frequently. Share them with supportive people. When you make your goals public, you create accountability. But remember, goals are not just about the destination. They're about who you become in the process of pursuing them. The person you become while working toward your goals is often more valuable than achieving the goals themselves. Success is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. Develop what I call the compound effect mindset. Small actions repeated consistently over time create massive results. Reading for 30 minutes a day may not seem like much, but over a year that's over 180 hours of reading. Over 10 years that's over 1,800 hours, enough to become an expert in almost any field. The same principle applies everywhere. Small improvements in your health habits compound into extraordinary fitness. Small improvements in your skills compound into extraordinary capabilities. Small improvements in your relationships compound into extraordinary connections. The key is consistency over time. This long-term perspective helps you handle short-term setbacks. When you're focused on where you'll be in 10 years, temporary failures don't seem as significant. You understand that success isn't a straight line, it's more like a staircase with plateaus and occasional steps backward, but with an overall upward trajectory. Do you know the quality that separates achievers from dreamers? Persistence. Persistence is what turns failure into extraordinary achievement, obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into comebacks. Most people give up just before they would have succeeded. They stop just before the breakthrough. They quit just before the harvest. Calvin Coolidge said it perfectly. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Persistence isn't just about continuing to do the same thing over and over. It's about continuing to move toward your goal even when you have to change your approach. It's about being flexible in your methods but inflexible in your commitment to your outcome. Successful people have a persistence mindset that says, "I will find a way or make one." In today's rapidly changing world, the ability to learn and adapt is more important than what you already know. Your current knowledge and skills got you to where you are, but they won't necessarily get you to where you want to go. Successful people are lifelong learners. They're always reading, studying, attending seminars, listening to educational content, and seeking new knowledge and skills. Make learning a daily habit. Choose learning over entertainment. Learn from everyone and everything. Successful people, failures, books, experiences, formal education, and the school of hard knocks. But remember, learning without application is just intellectual entertainment. You must apply what you learn. Knowledge without action is powerless. But knowledge combined with action is unstoppable. Your habits are the building blocks of your life. They're the small decisions and actions you take every day that shape who you become and what you achieve. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. If you want to develop a success mindset, you must develop success habits. Make positive thinking a habit. Make goal setting and review a habit. Make learning and growing a habit. Make taking action toward your dreams a habit. Make persistence in the face of obstacles a habit. The beautiful thing about habits is that once they're established, they become automatic. You don't need willpower or motivation, you just do them naturally. Start small when developing new habits. Focus on 1 or 2 habits that will have the biggest impact and be patient with the process. Consistency beats intensity when it comes to habit formation. Jim Rohn said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This is especially true for mindset. Look at the people in your life. Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Are they encouraging your dreams or discouraging them? Are they focused on possibilities or problems? Seek out people who have the mindset you want to develop. Join groups where successful, positive people gather. Attend events where you can learn from achievers. Remember,
Association is education. You learn from everyone you spend time with, whether you realize it or not. Make sure you're learning the right lessons from the right people. Here's a powerful principle that transforms everything. True success is not just about what you get, it's about what you give. When you develop a service mindset, when you focus on how you can help others and add value to their lives, several things happen. First, you stop being self-centered and start being other-centered, which makes you more attractive to others and opens up opportunities. Second, you develop skills and character qualities that serve you in all areas of life. Third, you create goodwill and build relationships that benefit you in unexpected ways. Service also gives your life meaning and purpose beyond personal achievement. When you know you're making a positive difference, it becomes easier to persist through challenges. Look for ways to serve others in everything you do. The paradox of service is that the more you focus on giving, the more you receive. You must take complete responsibility for your life. Not partial responsibility, not conditional responsibility, but complete responsibility. This means acknowledging that you are the primary creative force in your life, that your choices determine your results, and that blame is just an excuse that keeps you stuck. Taking personal responsibility isn't about blaming yourself for everything that happens to you. It's about recognizing that regardless of what happens to you, you always have the power to choose your response, and your response determines your experience and results. When you take personal responsibility, you reclaim your power. When you blame others or circumstances, you give your power away. The moment you take complete responsibility for your life is the moment your life begins to change. Because when you stop looking for someone to blame, you start looking for solutions. As we conclude our time together, I want you to understand that developing a success mindset is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. It's something you must work on every day for the rest of your life. Your mindset, like your physical health, requires daily attention and care. Some days will be easier than others. Some days your positive mindset will feel natural and effortless. Other days you'll have to fight for it. This is normal. Success isn't about having perfect days, it's about having more good days than bad days and making progress even on the difficult days. Be patient with yourself as you develop your success mindset. Change takes time. Growth is a process. Celebrate small improvements and be kind to yourself when you have setbacks. Remember, your mindset is your choice. Every moment of every day you get to choose what you think about, what you focus on, what you believe, and how you interpret what happens to you. You have within you right now everything you need to succeed. You have a mind capable of learning, growing, and creating. You have the ability to choose your thoughts, direct your focus, and control your responses. You have the power to set goals, make plans, and take action. The question is not whether you can succeed. The question is whether you will develop the mindset that makes success inevitable. Will you choose to think like a successful person? Will you choose to focus on possibilities rather than problems? Will you choose to see obstacles as opportunities to grow? Will you choose to persist when things get tough? These are the choices that separate successful people from unsuccessful people. These are the choices that will determine your destiny. And these are choices you get to make fresh every single day. Your success mindset journey begins with a decision. The decision to take control of your thinking. The decision to focus on what you want rather than what you don't want. The decision to believe in your ability to learn, grow, and achieve your goals. The decision to persist in the face of obstacles. The decision to serve others while pursuing your own success. Make that decision today. Make it again tomorrow. Make it every day for the rest of your life. The time for excuses is over. The time for blame is over. The time for waiting for perfect conditions is over. The time for action is now. The time for developing your success mindset is now. The time for creating the life you truly want is now. Your mindset is your destiny. Master it, and you master your life. The choice is yours, and the time is now. Go make it happen.